We are joined today by the one and only Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
In the flesh, in the blood, in LA.
In the flesh with, we have matching beachy waves. Everything's happening
But we
for
didn't
us.
come from the beach.
No, I don't really go to the beach. It's not for me.
Yeah. No,
like
I love
sand.
the beach.
You do?
Yeah, but it's just too cold in New York. Even during the summertime, I mean, the only times you can really go in New York is like August.
I want to talk about Summer House, obviously, because I'm so embarrassed to admit this to you again and to the listeners at home. And I don't say this to like be cool. I say this like from a true, authentic place of shame and discomfort that I have not seen Summer
Yeah,
House.
I mean, you should feel a little shame.
It is so
Maybe a lot.
embarrassing.
I mean, we're on season 8. It's not even like season 3. We're on
I thought it was
8.
season 9.
No, it's 8.
Oh, it's season 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is my truth. I was saving Summer House for my pregnancy.
Oh.
And I completely just missed the boat on it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to reserve Summer House for the apocalypse or my next pregnancy or for postpartum.
The next time we have like a global pandemic.
Yes, like I wanted to reserve one thing
Right.
to enjoy because everybody and their gay brother has told me that Summer House is maybe the best show to grace the screens of Bravo.
Oh my gosh.
Possibly ever.
Oh, ever?
Wait,
who are these people? Who are your friends? Because that's, first of all, quite an accolade.
Like, Below Deck, I'm not going to fuck with. I've dabbled. It's not for me.
Okay.
The premise of Summer House speaks to me, like, on a very internal, personal level.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm missing out on something, and that hurts me.
Yeah, I think you should probably start soon.
I am going to start soon.
You have like a whole year until maybe like 9-10 months until the next season comes out.
Right. And next time we speak, I'm going to be fully up to speed. I actually think that my like lack of true intel is going to help us here today.
Oh, okay.
I do.
All right. Well, on average, if you binge like one season a month,
Okay.
you'll be caught up by the time season 9 comes out.
No, I'm going to be ready to fucking rumble. And I'm also a pro, so I'm not going to do the thing where I milk the clock asking you questions that everyone at home already fucking knows. I have turned to the big guns,
Okay.
and those big guns are like my group chats.
Okay. All right. What is the group chat saying?
And I told you that I run like every guest, which is, far and few in between.
Yeah.
They usually cancel because they get scared. But I run the guest by these bitches, and it's full blown.
Should I have canceled?
No, you're already here. It's too fucking late.
I'm like looking at my publicist. Like, should we have canceled?
Yeah, he's shaking. He's quivering. You're good. You're in good hands here. When I said that Lindsay from Summer House was coming on my podcast, my phone was like steaming.
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
like sparking. I need to update the software.
Well, that's great. Okay.
Oh, lots of questions.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it never fucking happens.
All right, so are all of these questions from your friends?
These are
It's like we should have just invited all your friends to come along.
no, because I'm the facilitator and you are looking at someone who has no outside influence. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
It's
We're
nice.
going to get your natural reactions to everything.
Yeah, you're coming into a clean slate.
Okay.
I just want to say, what role do you play in Summer House if you were to just tell me an innocent, little child, fresh out of the womb? And explain your role to me as a viewer.
So I would say like I'm the girl who is like a straight shooter, very direct, strong, independent. I've been on an insanely wild journey that like fans and viewers have watched me go on, and that's like everything. Career, love life, personal, friendships, like you name it. I have shown the world my entire journey. So I don't know. I think I'm just like, I grew up basically on camera for the last 8 years. But I think for the most part, people perceive me as like the direct, strong, independent one. I'm pretty polarizing. Like,
Does that come with villain energy or no?
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I'm the villain.
I like that you own that.
Well, I mean, I feel like you can't always be like the one that everyone loves.
Yeah, because then you get fired.
Well, it's also you can't.
Then you're boring.
By the way, exactly. I've just also like been very authentically myself, whether you like it or not. And it's like a take me as I am kind of person. I just also don't really need the approval of the whole world to love me in
How
order for
boring,
me.
by the way.
Yeah. So,
Do you want to be like vanilla ice cream, or would you rather be like, I don't know, a sherbet or something, loved by many,
Oh yeah.
or just
All the
neutral
colors.
to everyone?
Well, I mean, so yeah, I think that comes with being a villain sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? But you're a villain if you have an opinion about anything. And I think, like I was saying, like I'm pretty polarizing. Like there's part of the audience like sees me for who I am and they're like, wow, Lindsay is authentic and she's herself and she's like one of the only ones who like truly just puts it all out there.
And isn't altered by the cameras and the feedback and all
I
of
don't
the
self-produce.
things. Yeah.
I don't like, sometimes I'm drunk and start yelling about sandwiches.
I heard about the sandwiches. Honestly, I
fall
can
down
relate
a
to that.
set of stairs or fall up some stairs. Sometimes
That's hard
I'm
to
like
do.
accidentally like get naked and slip into bed and hook up with a guy and forget that there's a camera in the room.
I love that for you.
So, I'm authentically myself and some people love that and some
Yeah.
people hate that. But the people who hate it, they're probably not my people anyway.
Exactly. Who cares? Do you think that you have changed a lot from season 1 to season now, or do you think you like ride pretty consistently?
I think like my moral compass is still the same,
Okay.
but I think, of course, I think I have changed in 8 years.
How so?
I just think I've grown up a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not as reactive. I'm not getting as activated.
I heard about that too, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is my
I'm like
fucking
me
line."
dropping all my lines on you to see if like you've heard them from your group chat.
Oh, I have. Someone just said,
yeah.
"I am activated," and I was like, "Me too," but like, what? Okay, love that. Do you have merch?
I did have merch, and
Give
then
me a sweatshirt. I'm activated.
yeah, I need to bring it back. I don't know. I need to bring back my merch line. But yeah, like I don't get as activated anymore. At least it comes in like a different form. Like me getting activated is more like a death stare now, where I'm like, I'm not screaming in your face. I'm more
That's
just like
scarier, by the way.
taking a beat, and it's like I will fuck you up.
What's the most activated you've gotten off camera? Like, give me just a shit show Lindsay off the grid story, because I could give you 45.
I will say, the first time that I spoke with Carl after our breakup, it was 3 weeks after our breakup. And when I tell you, I could not handle it. Like I felt rage like I've never felt before.
Too fresh.
Yeah, it was only 3 weeks after, and he was like saying all this crazy shit to me.
Like
and
rewriting history?
yeah, trying to rewrite history, but also not taking accountability and like just trying to almost convince me that like it's just dumb shit. Like
Yeah.
where I'm like, you take me as a fool.
Would you say it was gaslighting or just revisionist history?
I mean, both.
Both, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I lost my voice within 5 minutes, and I was like, get the fuck out of my face. Like I just like couldn't even handle. So yeah, that was probably the most activated that I've gotten in the past year. Is like,
Did you feel good after?
I had my friend, oh my God. So my girlfriend lives like 3 blocks down from me in New York. And I made sure, I was like, look, I need to make sure that you're home in case this conversation does not go well, which obviously I knew it was not going to go well.
Things were brewing in
Yeah,
the lady
I was like,
loins.
this is not going to end well. I was like, can you please make sure to be home? Like, it'll probably take a couple of hours. 30 minutes later, I was like, I'm coming now. And I just got to her house. I swear to God, I had like a sweat set on and I just started undressing. I didn't say a word.
Just sweat.
I walked in, I put a bottle of wine down on the counter and started undressing until I was naked. And I was pacing around her apartment and did not say a word. And she was like,
She's just sitting there. She's like, is this bitch okay?
She's like, okay, I'll open the wine. I was like, and it took me like 20 minutes. And then I was like, I'm sorry. It did not even register that I was around anyone or that anyone was around me. I just like, it's like survival mode. You just like autopilot to safety.
Yes.
And then once you're in safety, you're still like, what the hell just happened?
You need to shed your skin.
Yeah.
It feels dirty.
Yeah.
Contaminated.
This is what friends are for.
And then you need to cool down with a beverage.
Just completely naked. Like pacing
amazing.
around my girlfriend's apartment.
Are you talking to yourself, like going through the conversation again, or are you just?
No, I was like continuing the conversation with him over text because I was just like, I'm done talking to you. Like, you can talk to my lawyers. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, clearly it's impossible.
Text is safer too, don't you feel like? Because you're able to formulate your ideas and not like be so reactive.
No,
in the
totally. I've always
flesh.
been a writer. Like writing, I'm way better at writing my feelings out.
Totally.
But
No, I'm the same way. And by the way, like I just, as you were talking about this, I can relate to this because I've had to learn in more recent years that the scariest reaction is no reaction. And I've had to practice so long to just like fully dial it together
Right.
with my husband that when he just pushes, and it doesn't happen often, he's pretty cool, calm, and collected. But when he hits me at the wrong time, on the wrong day, at the wrong time of the month, like I could fully fucking levitate. Like I could go outside and like lift his car.
Right.
Something happens
Right.
to me. And I, in the most, like, I would say last 3 years, my new thing is that I glaze, I smile, I blink very slowly, and then I exit the room and all the blood drains from his face.
no, exactly. Because then they don't know what to do. They're like, oh shit.
Like, I
What
want him
just
to think
happened?
I'm packing my things and he will never see my face again.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, when was the last time you were like that?
Um,
You're like earlier today before I got here.
funny story. I would say probably 2 months ago. The baby was teething. We were just like, we were both frustrated at the baby, but you're not like allowed to be mad at an innocent,
Yeah, of course.
infant. So instead you displace the blame. And he said something to me like that he kind of alluding that he had done more that day. Or he's like, well, I fed him more times than you today. And when I tell
no.
you, if there was anything within arm's reach, I would have chucked it at his fucking forehead, headbutted him, like slashed all his tires and cut his brake cables, and then never spoken to him again. Like if I wasn't just so emotionally drained at that point in my life,
exactly.
I physically couldn't give him anything. I couldn't give him a response, so I had to glaze. I took 3 deep breaths. I glazed. I slow blinked, and then I exited. And within 13 seconds, he's knocking on our bedroom door being like, honey, can I get you anything? Are you okay? Like, I've got him. I'm going to take him for a walk. Why don't you take a bath? Like, he's fucking
All of a sudden,
spiraling.
he's doing everything for your kid for the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah.
No, emotionally drained. That's literally how I felt towards the end of the summer. And what's airing right now on TV is just like me at this like I'm just exhausted,
Broken,
point.
fragile.
Yeah, I'm just exhausted. I don't know how much more I can like give,
Right.
To this conversation, and it was just the same conversation in circles over and over and over, and
Which is maddening.
It's maddening, and oof, yeah. But no, then you're like happy that you're emotionally drained because then now they can't hold it against you that you're like
Reactive.
super reactive
Or activated,
as
as they say. I know this is probably a shocker to you, but I was never, an academic scholar. The whole class and textbook thing just wasn't for me. But one thing I felt like I really missed out on was not learning another language, and I've really been trying to spruce up my French lately, so naturally, I turned to Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning program, and it's available on desktop or as an app. I have the app on my phone, and let me just say, je m'appelle Jacques. Okay? That means my name is Jackie. They have been a trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users. They offer 25 languages. They've got Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch, Arabic, Polish. Basically anything you want, they've got. And they immerse you in so many ways. There are no English translations, so you really learn to speak, listen, and think in that language. The process is so intuitive, so you pick up a language naturally, first with words, then phrases, then sentences, so you retain the language long term. They also have a built-in true accent feature that gives you feedback on your pronunciation. It's like having a personal trainer for your accent. Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started for a very limited time. The Bitch Bible listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/Bible. That is 50% off, unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/Bible today. I want to talk to you about something very important. Leo/Richard's bowel movements. Are you on the edge of your seat? I bet you are, Tiana. So let's just dive right in. Not literally, verbally, okay? Ever since switching Leo over to the farmer's dog, his digestive system has been poppin', okay? And if you haven't tried it, what are you doing? The farmer's dog makes feeding real, healthy dog food easy and convenient. Your dog is going to lose their minds for it, okay? Since switching Leo, I cannot tell you the worlds of difference in just his overall lust for life, dare I say it, and more importantly, his digestive system. So the farmer's dog makes it so easy. They deliver right to your door. It's developed by vets. It's nutritionally balanced. It's made from real meat and veggies to the safety standards of human food. It is the best option for dogs of all life stages because it's not kibble, it's not canned gross goo, it's real healthy food. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old, it is always the right time to begin investing in their health. That means more happy, healthy, and full years together. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/Bible. Plus, you're going to get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/Bible for 50% off. That is thefarmersdog.com/Bible. Do you think, as a Bravo consumer, particularly with the Housewives, I feel like there is extreme disparity with how people treat women versus men on these shows? How do you feel about that, Lindsay Hubbard?
As far as when you say how people treat women versus men, are you talking about viewers and how they view?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of misogynistic men on Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
But
Name three.
Publicist is going, I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like, okay.
I should have caught him when he was checking emails. Should have looked over. I should have put my finger in my cup
That's funny.
to de-swell my ring finger. Okay. Let's talk disparity. We don't have to name names.
I could name a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a lot of men on Bravo that have a very misogynistic point of view, and I will leave it at that.
Yes. Okay. I have to ask you these questions because otherwise
your group chat is going to disown you and you're going to get kicked out immediately.
1,000%. How are you feeling now that all eyes are on you this season and you have to watch such a personal time in replay? What is that like?
Listen, it's not anything I'm not used to. Having to relive, the summer 10 months later.
Yeah.
But this one was especially hard to relive because it's something that was a very traumatic situation, like one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me in my adult life, very traumatizing.
Just so I'm fully up to speed here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're no, what are you talking about?
I'm not living under a rock. I don't live in a fucking kibbutz.
You broke up?
So you're engaged to Carl. Mm-hmm. How long are you guys together before you get engaged?
I think 10 months, around 10 months.
Okay. Was there an element of the cameras and the show and everyone rooting for your love story that expedited the marital plans?
It's so funny that you say that because Andy asked the same thing at the reunion.
God damn it. Journalist of the year.
But I can't even answer that, right? Because I'm not the one who proposed to me. He is, right? I didn't know I was getting engaged.
You guys didn't talk about it beforehand?
Not at that point. I think it was that year in May, which I guess at this point was 2 years ago. Wow. He was like, oh, have you thought about what kind of ring you want? And then that was the only conversation we ever had.
That's interesting.
And then next thing you know, in August, he proposed. So
did you think it was performative at the time, or you guys were just goo-goo, happy?
I mean, I would say we were probably still very much in that honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Not the
we were
time to
best
get
friends.
engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, not the time to get engaged. But we'd known each other. We've been best friends since the show, not since the show started, but for a long time.
Right.
Friends that turned into best friends. We tried to date on season 4. That did not work out well.
Yeah.
Should have known then.
Yeah.
And then went back to being friends, then went back to being best friends, and then started dating, got engaged, and then
he broke up the engagement.
Oh yeah, no, he like torpedoed.
And when you watch the season now, do you see it happening before your eyes, or were you just completely like, what the fuck's going on?
No, I see like a lot of things that I was not privy to over summer.
Okay.
Like it really seems like watching this season, it really feels like he made this decision way sooner than I ever thought he did.
Right.
Because it was like very confusing to me. I'm like, what happened in the last 2 weeks? Like what happened to all of a sudden, like you were just at my bridal shower 2 weeks ago and now like you're calling off our wedding and breaking up with me 2 weeks later. So like that was very confusing to me. But now I'm watching it and I'm like, oh wow, like he actually had these thoughts way earlier on in the summer than just the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's fucked. That's annoying, huh?
I mean, it's just, well, you're watching it, right? And then you're like, okay, so like he's planting seeds and like really, really trying to like villainize me as to like to justify what he's going to do later on.
Right. I feel like we see
and
that a
you're
lot.
watching it and you're just like, what?
Do you feel like kindred spirits with Ariana because of what she went through with the Scandival? And he kind of did that to her as well.
He was
we
trying
don't have sex, and she like displacing blame for him being like a piece of shit.
To then justify him breaking up later on.
Yeah.
I think our situations are so different.
Yeah.
Like they were together for 9 years. And he had a full-blown 7-month affair with one of her best friends.
It's pretty fucked up.
It was so fucked. Yeah. Whereas mine, I was just dealing with like a guy who didn't fully understand the level of commitment that it takes to be in an adult relationship. And like he's like, I want to get married and I want kids and I want a family and I want this and I want that. But it's like, okay, but that comes with a whole different set of responsibilities in partnership. And I just don't think he understood the commitment that kind of partnership takes.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
Like, so he's like, oh shit, like things are tough. I guess I'll go now. Bye.
And what
and
about...
like, that's not someone I want as my life partner anyway, So
no.
I think that ultimately we're in a very much better position.
Do you think that his sobriety came into play with your relationship?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, here's the thing.
And if you've answered this question 5 million times, you can once again tell me to fuck off.
No. I mean, we did cover it at the reunion, but I feel like we covered everything at the reunion.
Right.
So it's not like...
Yeah.
Every question you're going to ask me is probably, also asked there.
Yeah.
I do think it played a big part. And I don't think you fully understand or are aware about what it's like to be with an addict or someone who has addiction.
Yeah.
Unless you are in that situation. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot more challenging for both partners than I think either Carl or I thought. Like he was still pretty new into his, understanding his sobriety and wrapping his mind around it. Mm-hmm. And for me, I never had experience dating or being with an addict.
Yeah.
And I had never had experience being with somebody who was sober as a result.
Yeah.
And I was doing the best that I could to support like everything from day one. Like I didn't drink for 5 months when we started dating so that I could give us an even playing field.
Right.
Like I
let him get
completely
his sea legs.
Scaled back like on my alcohol intake. Where I would just like go to dinner with my girlfriends and like keep it outside of the apartment. No, I'm not perfect, right?
Yeah.
But like you never, unless he was fully communicating with me, like every step of the way, his feelings and like emotions and challenges and struggles within his own sobriety journey, unless you're communicating that with your partner, like, I don't know because I don't have this experience.
Yeah, sobriety, someone's sobriety journey is a very like insular experience too. You know what I mean? Like it's them processing why and how and like, you know, one day at a time. And that must be very difficult to be with someone, be engaged, planning a wedding, and you've got someone who's completely shifted their lifestyle. And what does that look like, you know, moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, but I was like right there with him, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, whatever you need. And I think it got to a point where it was like I had to constantly adjust my lifestyle to match his. And it just got to a point where it was like I felt like I was just doing so much in the relationship, you know? Like
making
I'm always the
sacrifices.
one. Yeah. And like, you know, he probably looks at it differently, but it's like, I'm the one planning the wedding. I'm the one who's like managing the household. I'm the one trying to like, you know, figure out our finances and, you know, think about like, okay, how much is this wedding going to cost? What happens after the wedding? Where are we going to live? Are we ever going to buy a house? Like, oh, okay, you need to build your credit. This is how you build your credit, Carl. Like, you know, like here's, okay, we need an accountant. Oh, now you're like quitting Loverboy and need to transition into like a new career. Okay, what do you want to do? Like, this is now the time. Okay, now here's a career coach, Carl. Like, you know, go talk to this guy. Okay, now we have to do this and that. And it was just like, okay, and I have to like adjust my lifestyle.
Right.
And I have to be the one that's like, you know, goes to like Al-Anon, which I never did because it was like, well, what about my needs?
Yeah.
I had so many needs within the relationship.
Right.
But I wasn't allowed to have them.
Right.
Because I was so busy like giving him the things that he needed.
His sobriety journey, like, is it usurped? What is it? What's that word? You know what I mean? It took precedent over maybe what you needed in a partnership at that time.
Right. And I would always say to him, I was like, look, there's more to a relationship and there's more to a partnership than sobriety. Like there's so many relationships where there's not a sober partner.
Right.
And there's a lot of challenges that they have to work through.
Right.
Like you can't just stop at I'm sober, you're not, and that's the only challenge. Like we have other challenges that we have to focus on.
Yeah.
So yes, in a very long story.
No, I appreciate it.
I think, yes, that played a big part. And those are all top level. Those are all the reasons.
Do you feel like because of his sobriety, he was maybe like policing your behaviors?
Well, yeah. Okay, so then that brings up, yes.
But I'm doing pretty good.
I'm like,
by the way, for someone who's like living in the clouds here.
I know.
I feel like I'm nailing
you're
it.
just like, I think you're just genuinely interested in like the human aspect of the story.
Yeah, and I feel like I can get away with asking these questions because I'm not, jaded.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Totally. So there was a lot of resentment, I feel like, that was building for me. And I was losing respect because he would almost weaponize anytime I would have a drink. It's like, well, how many drinks did you have? I'm like, I had one martini. Like, oh my God.
It's like Countess Luann.
I felt constantly judged. We talked about this in couples therapy where I was like, I feel like I'm being judged if I just go to dinner with my girlfriend and I have 2 glasses of wine and I come home like, it's like, well, how much did you have to drink? And it's, you're not even there. I need to go to spend time with my girlfriends.
Right.
This is my time to drink with my girlfriends because I'm not at home with you.
Adhering to your lifestyle,
being judged by you.
Yeah.
But, meanwhile, he smokes weed, and
It's interesting.
you're just like, okay, well, how much weed did you have?
Right, like this can go both ways. And if anything,
Like, I'm not doing anything wrong by having 2 glasses of wine with my girlfriend at a dinner.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
That's annoying. I would be annoyed. I'd be activated.
Yeah, well, it's just like, to me, it was always very hypocritical to like weaponize alcohol against me.
Right.
But then it's like, by the way, I don't smoke weed. It makes me weird. Like if I get really paranoid.
Same.
It just does not work DNA-wise with my body.
Same.
I would crawl under the table and think that like everyone is talking about me or I don't know, some weird shit. So it just doesn't work for me. It works for him. He can smoke weed and that's great. Like, but I'm not out here being like, well, how much weed did you smoke today?
Yeah, and especially that early into like a relationship and you're still in the honeymoon phase, like you guys, that's a red flag in itself. Like, you guys shouldn't be policing behavior or like, well, if I'm doing this, why are you doing this? Like, it's way too early to start that shit.
Well, the difference is I wasn't policing.
Right. He was policing you.
Yeah. Like, it was like anytime I had any emotion, it was like, well, how much did you have to drink? And it's like, this has nothing to do with me having 2 glasses of wine at dinner. This has to do with the fact that this is my emotion.
Right.
As it stands. And yes, alcohol like kind of takes that filter off.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And it elevates your emotions, but the emotions are already there and they've already existed. You know, and then that went into like a whole different situation. I mean, I feel like we're going to be here for 5 hours.
This is therapy. You didn't know it.
But, well, it's a lot of therapy that I've already done. But it went back to like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to have any emotions other than happy. Yeah. And that's what plays out a lot on this season is like me sitting there. Like, I had to almost be like, okay, like, good job. Like, I'm so happy for you, as if you just like finished playing a game of t-ball and like, you know, got to first base and then accidentally got out at second base. And I'm like, it's okay, sweetie, you did great. Like, you're not a kid, and I don't need to treat you like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you're a 38-year-old man, now 39. And I don't need to coddle you and like tell you great job for like being an adult.
Right. And at that time, that's supposed to be your partner, your husband, potentially the father of your children. It's a recipe for disaster.
Right. But like, then I was, you know, if I had an emotion.
Yeah.
Right. Other than happy.
Right. You're crazy.
You know, then
you're
it's
nuts.
like
you're not
like,
supportive.
You're not supportive. Like, you need to be softer. You need to be more excited and proud of me. You need to. I'm like, when am I allowed to have an emotion for myself about things that go on in my life?
And you know what, like, the real shit is here? Like, and I can speak to this personally. Some women are softer, and some women are not. I am one of those women that I'm a tough love person. Like, I don't have that chip in me to be like, honey, like, how, like, I'm never like that. My baseline is a little rashy, a little ragey. You know what I mean? And
but here's the kicker, though.
Yeah.
I would have loved the opportunity to be soft.
Right.
But what did I just tell you? I was doing everything.
Yeah.
Guiding the ship, like managing the household, planning the wedding, like trying to figure out the finances, you know, trying to figure out the
Caring
careers.
too much.
Caring too much.
Yeah.
So you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, but also you need to be softer and a mute and don't say anything but supportive and happy and excited and hug me. Oh, but you can't have emotions either when it comes to your own life because I need you to be happy for me.
And unassertive and yeah.
But then I also need you to like be the one that manages everything in our lives. And you're just like, this is like,
it's too much.
Now you see why I was exhausted by the end of the season, because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how much more can I do for you?
Now I get the stripping and the blacking out and the drinking at your friend's apartment.
I was like, the stripping. When did I become a stripper? I mean, yes, at my friend's apartment. I just was like, yes, I stripped at my friend's apartment. Took it all off and was just like, I am so sorry.
This episode of the Bitch Bible Podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. Do you ever think about how many websites there are out there? Like, truly infinity and beyond. If I wanted to get like a bedazzled, I don't know, headgear, there's a website for it, okay? And honestly, I'm in the goddamn market. That is why when I am lost, digitally speaking, the only place you need to turn to is Squarespace. They make it so easy to build a website and really stand out and succeed online. You can create a website that is beautiful, engage with your audience, and sell products all in one place. When making a site, the Squarespace Blueprint tool will literally be your best friend. This tool is their guided design system, which has so many professionally curated layouts and styling options. It is so easy to create your site and really tailor it to your brand or your business. They also have an integrated, optimized SEO tools that help you get discovered and grow your online presence fast. One of my least favorite things about making a website is having to write anything about your business. Writing something for the About section on my site was a literal nightmare, and luckily with Squarespace AI, you can update written content on any website, product description, or email. All you've got to do is explain what your site is about, choose your tone, and enter what you need, and the AI feature writes personalized short or long form text just for you. That is genius. Also, now that the Bitch Bible has video, Squarespace is a great option because of their video collection, so you can upload video content, organize your video library, and showcase your content on gorgeously designed video pages. You could even sell access to your video library by adding a paywall to your content. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to www.squarespace.com/Bible to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you, Squarespace. Lilas. I am so obsessed with our next sponsor, Nurex. It is hard to find healthcare that really feels personal, but Nurex makes it so much easier. Nurex is a digital healthcare platform that makes it easy to get the expert healthcare you deserve at every step of your journey. Everybody is different. So Nurex provides treatment and care that is personalized to you. Nurex's licensed medical providers possess in-depth knowledge and expertise in a range of common health concerns, helping patients find the right treatment options based on their preferences and health history. No more one-size-fits-all approach, only effective, tailor-made solutions. I love it. Nurex is here to help you make informed choices about your health with care offerings like birth control, anti-aging prescription skincare, and treatment for common mental health concerns, all tailored to your unique health history and goals. What I love about Nurex is that they are built on a care model designed to grow with women. Nurex understands women's healthcare journeys are unique and ever-changing. Hello. It is especially not always easy to access birth control. Nurex helps their patients take back their autonomy with fast and affordable expert care. They accept many major insurances to pay for your birth control prescription, which can help cut down any out-of-pocket costs. In fact, to date, Nurex has delivered birth control to more than 1.6 million patients in the United States, and they offer more than 50 birth control formulas. I love that so much. Ladies, take care of yourself. Feminist, okay? Thanks to Nurex for sponsoring this podcast. Taking control of our reproductive health starts here. Go to nurex.com/Bible to get started. That is NURX.com/BIBLE. Results may vary, not offered in every state. Medications prescribed only if clinically appropriate. Consultation required. Do you feel like the cast has supported you or kind of taken his side of things?
I think it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the guys naturally, Carl had a lot to say. He had a lot of stories to tell last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's hard. Like, you're not privy to everyone's conversation. So, like,
yeah.
Unless I also was out there being like, well, this is how I feel and this is what happened.
By the way,
and,
funny you should mention that, Carl, and then you pop in with your side.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not real life. And
Yeah.
I think that happens in most friend groups where unless you heard my side also, you're automatically going to take his side. Maybe if you heard my side and not his side, you're going to be more biased towards how I feel. I mean, but I think, like, ultimately, as the end result, when all was said and done and we broke up, like, it's a hard one. It's a hard situation to take teams on or be on someone's side because everyone kind of lost in it. It was a weird, it's weird. Like, we've been on this show since the beginning. We've been, like, most of these people met us at the exact same time.
That's weird.
So it's, like, weird for everyone to, like, then be like, ooh. You know, like, imagine, like, you have friends that get a divorce and, you're like, oh, God. Like,
oh, no, totally. Like, anytime you have friends that break up, it's like, well, I mean, historically, you kind of, like, side with the one that you knew first, right?
Right.
But
But what if you met at the same time? Then you're like, ooh.
I know.
Like, where do I go? Who do I... I guess it just depends, right? Like if there was a cheating incident,
Right.
then you're like, you were in the wrong. Like,
It makes it easier when someone does something like categorically, objectively wrong.
right. Like now, I mean, I would tend to say that like how he broke up was categorically, objectively wrong.
Right. If you just like write it down and read it, it's you would technically be the victim in this situation.
Well, yeah, but
Right?
according to him, he's always playing victim. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people are just like victim's victim and valor's valor.
You know what? So I have like this old assistant, and she was very wise beyond her years. I think she's like 10 years younger than me, but she grew up in Brooklyn, so she's got some street cred there.
She's got grit. Yeah.
Yeah. And she used to tell me, she's like, Lindsay, there are solutions-driven people and there are problems-driven people.
Does she listen to my podcast? I say that all the
Oh,
time.
really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to ask her. But she's like, you're a solutions-driven person. He's a problems-driven person. Like,
Yes.
he likes to stew in the problem, and
Right.
like you like to like come up with a solution, which is, to be honest, probably a lot of my PR background. It's
Totally.
like, you have to come up with like, you know, plan A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z, and like move at the speed of light if,
Right.
you know, the first 5 plans don't work. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Anyways, what are the questions on your sheet? I feel like we're...
I know. I haven't gotten to any of
what
them.
are your
'cause we're
friends'
just-
questions?
Who's kept?
We have not even started this podcast
I
yet.
know. I'm sorry. Who kept the apartment?
I did. He like, you know, obviously in the very beginning, he was, I don't know where he was going. He was traveling, trying to figure everything out. I was in the apartment because everything else just got ripped out from underneath me, and this is my own home.
Right.
So, and then eventually, like one day in early November, right before BravoCon, he just like, he came, he went to the apartment when I was actually in LA. And I came home and all of his shit was gone. He just like vacated in the middle of the night. He had not been sleeping there or living there.
Wow.
But like he would come back every now and then and get stuff whenever.
Drama.
And then, yeah, that was it. I was like, okay, I guess he found a new apartment.
Works for you, right?
Yeah. So, but we re-signed the lease a month before he broke up with me.
Okay.
So, like,
All right.
what am I supposed to do at that point? Like, so you rip the rug out from underneath me, like blow up our entire future, or at least the future that I thought we were supposed to have.
Yeah.
Get married in 2 months and like whatever. We just re-signed our lease, and now I have to figure out where to live. Like, I'm in survival mode of like what just happened.
Yeah, you turned my whole life upside down.
I'm not gonna then go like, holy shit, like I need to go find a new home.
No.
Like, I feel like that would be the most fucked up thing. Like, and he actually expected it. He was like, well, we need to sublease this. You need to, I'm like, I don't need to vacate just because you vacated.
Right, exactly.
You left and
Slightly
didn't tell
inconvenient
me
for me.
anything or the landlord anything. We just re-signed our lease. Like, I'm not in a position where I'm going to like go look at new apartments. By the way, pay thousands upon thousands of dollars. Like, we just re-signed our lease.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
You better keep that security deposit.
Well, anyways, it's up June 14th anyway. So
Okay.
he's done paying as of that day. But I renewed.
Oh, perfect. Love that for you.
I worked. I'm like, well, I'm still staying in it. Yeah, my landlord and I worked out a deal where she actually reduced the rent,
Hell yeah.
which never happens in New York, ever. But we have a great relationship, and I think, you know, she's
A pity price cut, they call that.
She is a strong entrepreneurial woman, and I think she was like, let me help a sister out.
Fuck yeah.
But I was like, listen, this is how New York is. Like, I was crunching all these numbers.
Yeah.
I had actually gone to look at like 7 or 8 different apartments with one of my best friends who's a broker. And I love my neighborhood, so I was looking around my neighborhood, but I still need a 2-bedroom because I had too much shit for a 1-bedroom, and it's
Yeah.
New York because
Yeah.
you just need space. And like, yeah, all these apartments were like a little less expensive, but I'm going to have to move and pay movers, pay the organizers, pay the broker fees, pay the new building condo fees.
Yeah, kind of all evens out.
You know, to then potentially hate, you know, the location and then move again in a year.
Yeah. Did you do a rejudge when he moved out?
I'm in the process of that now.
You need a rejudge.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're getting rid of the bed, the bed frame,
Great.
the rugs, the couch. I fucking hate that couch. I've hated it since the moment it arrived in my apartment. Mm-hmm. So that is gone.
So then it'll feel like a fresh new space.
Yeah. And I love it. Like I've spent, you know, this breakup happened in like at the end of August.
Yeah.
And we're, you know, almost at the end of May now.
Yeah.
So what is that, 10 months?
Yeah.
Like I've filled this apartment with all of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
It was sort of always like, you know, it was always my girlfriends coming over.
Yeah.
And in general, even when Carl and I were together.
So it felt primarily like your
was like
space.
My experiences and my memories and my he was always there, right? But like
he's just there.
But it was like always like my kind of like I'm the one who like spent all the time, you know, to like get the apartment together to begin with. I'm
Minus
the one
the
who
couch.
like was searching for the apartment.
Right.
Yeah. Minus
Did he pick the couch?
No, it was one of those situations where
It was in stock.
there was a lot of back orders from COVID still, because this was, we had first moved in like 2022. Yeah, June 2022.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of like supply chain, like back.
I know.
Like everyone you talk to, you're like, there's a supply chain issue. There's a supply chain issue. So we wound up with like a couch.
Yeah.
That was like the only color available that was going to get there the quickest.
In stock life. I lived it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I would like hit up those fucking restoration hardware outlets, and if there wasn't like a semen stain on it, it was coming home with me because I needed furniture.
It probably does have a semen.
We kept it. Just for like an antique look. You know what I mean?
I don't know who your advertisers are, but you should get one of those like carpet steamer advertisers on here.
I fucking need one desperately. Okay, what is your favorite sandwich?
Ooh, okay. Now we're on to the questions from your group chat.
Yeah, can you tell? Very niche. I'm like, that's a terrible question to ask, Kelly. I'm like, okay.
I love an Italian sub.
Ooh.
Toasted, preferably.
Okay.
Even if it's not toasted, I just love a good Italian sub.
Multi-meat?
But there's a place in New York. Oh, yeah, multi-meat.
Okay.
The salami, ham.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the whole thing.
Great.
Provolone.
Great.
Lettuce, tomato, onion.
Yeah.
Maybe some like jalapeno peppers or some hot pepper, any
Yeah.
kind of pepper.
Have to.
Yeah. Ooh, a little bit of oil, some salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Now I'm hungry.
I know, I'm starving. My finger's going to swell up again. I can't even talk about a fucking sandwich.
There's a place in New York that I actually order a roast beef sandwich from.
Oh, you're dirty.
Yeah. No, I'm from Florida. It's
Oh, okay,
same
that
thing,
makes sense.
same
Yeah.
thing.
That tracks. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. It's like the meat.
Like a roast beef, like mustard, like Reuben adjacent, or what are we talking?
Yeah, like roast beef, mustard, same fillings, but like just I love a good roast beef.
Fuck.
Or Italian.
Okay, I'm so on board. I get pretty boring. I'm just like a turkey with like every topping known to mankind and like really good bread.
Oh, okay.
I'll fuck with a BLT.
I do love a BLT or a BLAT.
Oh yeah, you have to. The A
Add
is
the A.
Of course. I do mayo on the sides, but you know that's a whole other thing. Okay, you have a new boyfriend.
I do.
What's his name? What's his social security number? Where does he live? What's his job? You said you were very satisfied in the bedroom. Would you care to elaborate on that?
No.
No.
No, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean,
Right.
do I need to? Do I
Not
need to
really.
elaborate?
No.
Yeah, no, he's wonderful. I actually met him and went out with him 3.5 years ago.
Oh, I
In
like
New
a
York. Yeah.
rekindling.
Some of my friends call it like a boomerang. Where
Yes.
you go out the first time, the timing wasn't right.
Yeah.
And then they come back around. So that's basically what happened. 3.5 years ago, it was like October, November 2020. So it was COVID times, still a little bit weird.
Very weird.
Weird times.
Yeah.
We met and we hit it off, went on some dates. He was like trying to figure out his career moves, and it was just bad timing for him. It was also holidays.
Yeah.
It was bad timing for me. Like I was in like a weird place at that time.
Yeah.
And so he broke things off with me. But he did it in such a respectful way. Like I went back and was like, let me see what this guy
Yeah, let me
said.
just suss this
It
out.
was the nicest text ever. Because most guys will just like ghost you or fade away or
I
disappear
swear to
or
fucking
whatever.
God, I miss the ghost window because I've been with my husband for so fucking long. But I would dare a motherfucker to ghost me.
Yeah.
I would poltergeist that bitch.
No, and there's like different levels of ghosting.
I would
it's crazy.
text
Love
the alphabet.
bombing, and then ghosting.
Disgusting.
Oh no, so he did none of that.
That's nice. What was the breakup or the fizzle? Was it just like, hey, like I'm not in a good place right now?
Yep, no, literally yes. Like he just
Great.
was like, back then he was like, hey, I am not in a place where I can be in anything serious. He's like, I get the sense that like maybe you want something more, and he's like, I'm not there right now, and I just don't want to waste your time, and out of respect for you, like I just felt like I needed to tell you that. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
You're like,
you can't even be mad at it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
And, and then he, like, next thing you know, this past December, 3 years later, after we had gone out 3 or 4 times, he reached back out.
Wow.
Boomeranged back and was like, hey. And I was
nice.
like, wow, blast from the past.
Doesn't that feel safer given your current situation, though? Someone that you've already kind of had a thing with?
No, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
And so when first of all, I put him on ice for a month. He reached out in mid-December.
Have to.
And I was like,
Yeah.
he made me wait 3 years. He can wait a month.
Yeah.
So I reached back out in January and I was like, all right, coffee. We wound up at lunch. And I felt like that lunch that we went on was almost like catching up on the last 3 years of our lives as opposed to...
Did you bring him Summer House DVDs and you're like, you could just watch those?
No, he's never watched the show.
Thank God, by the way.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah, because imagine the alternative. How,
No, I've had the alternative.
It's ick.
I just got done. Yeah, yes. There's
someone who lives a little too much for the lights, not hot.
Not hot.
No,
it was always something that I had to be a little wary of dating when I was single, because it was like, are their intentions right? Like, are they just like trying to land the girl from Summer House and like get laid and like go brag about it to their friends? Like,
Yikes.
is it because they, want something out of it, like camera time and like almost like using me to get,
I'm sorry. Can
I don't know.
just say
Maybe it's just like me, but
nothing
you got to be weird.
No, totally. Nothing inverts the vagina more. I'll just speak for myself personally. Nothing dehydrates the labia more than a dude who wants to be on fucking camera.
Yeah.
Just me personally. Disgusting.
Well,
no offense.
No. I've like done plenty of interviews at this point about it. I'm like, no, I'm pretty much done with these reality TV boys.
Yeah.
Because
it's
just not for me.
No.
So it's refreshing that my dude now like just doesn't, he's like unfazed by it. He's like, respects you and that's what you do.
Do
but
your
it doesn't,
thing.
It's not, he doesn't care about it.
Yeah, that's good.
And he just, he's successful in his own field.
Love it.
And like has a great job.
Love it. We love a great job.
Works very hard, is extremely driven and ambitious.
Love it.
And keeps me happy in the bedroom.
That's the most important thing. This episode of the Bitch Bible is brought to you by Naked Wines. Ooh, spicy. We've all been there, broken, aimless, in the wine aisle at the market, and you end up grabbing the same old thing because you're so overwhelmed by the labels and the varietals and the bottles and the people and the breathing and the lights. Oh, I love Naked Wine so much because it's a subscription service that connects you to the finest independent winemakers on the planet. So you're going to get a box of the market's best quality wines, however often you'd like, for a fraction of the price you'd normally pay in stores. If you use our code BIBLE for the code and the password at nakedwines.com, you're going to get their incredible deal of 6 bottles for just $39.99. You're probably thinking it's too good to be true, but I'm going to tell you how they do it. Naked Wines connects winemakers and wine drinkers directly, allowing for the vineyard to your door delivery at up to 60% off what you would pay in store. So by cutting out the traditional retail middlemen costs, winemakers can pass those savings on hundreds of top quality award-winning wines to you without skimping on quality. There is so much that I love about them. The deals are insane. It's so convenient. And because you rate as you go, your shipments just get better and better. So it slowly starts to just like curate the perfect box for you. In my last shipment, I had this Patrice Grasset Loire Valley Rosé of Pinot Noir, and it was to die for. Go to nakedwines.com/Bible and click enter voucher in the top right and put in Bible for both the code and the password. You're going to get 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That is $100 off and less than $7 per bottle. I can't. That's nakedwines.com/Bible and use the code and password Bible to get 6 bottles for just $39.99. One last time, that is nakedwines.com/Bible, code and password Bible for $100 off your first 6 bottles. Are you still working in PR or are you just full-time influenza?
Full-time summer house /
Yeah.
I
feel like they blend.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean,
they?
the way it all worked out, I was in PR for 100 years.
Yeah.
COVID hit. I was a hospitality publicist. So you can't promote a restaurant when no one's going to the restaurant.
For sure.
And then, so I was obviously put on pause for a good portion of 2020, but still had the show, and we were one of the only shows that could actually film during those times, which was nice. And then all my clients came back, and they were like, "Okay, we're ready to have PR again." But
you're like, "Bitch, I'm on a hit TV show."
They're like, "But we took a huge hit, and we have 1/16 of the budget, so we can pay you $500 a month." And I'm like, "No, you used to pay me $5,000 a month."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, we took a big hit," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry, I can't."
It didn't work.
It's just in New York, you have to follow what's making the most money. And at that point in time, I was blessed enough to have Summer House hit its stride,
right?
After 5 seasons. And so I was like, okay, well, what? And that's also when brand campaigns really started taking off was COVID because no one could work.
I mean, terrible time for our country, but best year of my life business-wise. I say it all the time. 2020 really popped off for me.
Yes. It popped off for Summer House, too.
Yeah.
And influencers.
Terrible for, for the lives lost and the global pandemic and all of that stuff. But business was booming.
So and so I just kind of leaned into it, and it made more sense to lean into that as a way to make money than go back to, all my clients who were like, "Well, we can pay you $2 a month." And I was like,
"Yeah,
well, that doesn't sound like it's worth my time."
Where can you get the best martini in New York?
Okay, I mean, I'm obsessed with Hillstones. It's consistent. It's the best. I love a Hillstone martini.
But I feel like they stuff their olives with goat cheese, which just really throws me off.
Oh, interesting. Instead of blue cheese?
Yeah.
I'm not an olive girl, and I wish I was.
Okay,
so.
I am. And the goat cheese it really, really throws me off.
Oh, God, where else have I had a really Chiconi's?
Yeah.
But their martini... They come in little shot glasses.
They're too small for me.
I don't understand that.
And they don't have blue cheese
but
stuffed
they're
olives.
Strong.
Not for me.
Oh.
I need a super tanker. I need something that's going to lay my ass out.
Yeah, Monkey Bar has great martinis.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Monkey Bar?
No.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay, Monkey Bar. I'm going to New York potentially next week.
Oh.
So I need to get my lay of the land here.
Well, hit me up.
I'm going to take this out, but how's Phuquet's?
Oh, I was just there literally the other day for brunch. I didn't have their martinis.
Okay, I'm staying there, so I heard the bar is good.
Yeah, the bar is it's cute.
And I'm probably not taking my baby, so I'm really looking to have a time.
Great area. It's right down there in Tribeca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, what else? Oh, no, I'm not going to ask you that. Okay, I'm not going to ask you that. Some of these are real fucking shady.
Oh my God. Wait, I just want to hear it just for fun.
Okay, I'll ask you one.
Oh God.
It says petty question. That's the title here. The $70,000 in brand deals that Carl mentioned he had, Lindsay booked those for him, right? There's no way he secured those himself.
There was like a campaign that when I saw that conversation play out, I was like, first of all, that is not true. He did not make $70,000.
Also, like, gross to say that out loud.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that he disclosed that, but I was like, whatever.
It's just adding to your case. It's just
no. What I
like,
felt was more gross was that he was like, well, she made more because she's a woman. It's like, okay.
Ooh, that's not good for the feminists. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know how many male dominating jobs there are in this world that women have had to fight?
Right, like let you make more for the FabFitFun box. Like fuck off.
Yeah, then go find a male dominated job because every other job in America.
Yeah, let us have this one, right?
Just let us have this one.
Totally.
So
it's embarrassing enough. Like
he's
let
like,
us
well,
hawk
she
our
makes
shit.
more because she's a woman. It's like, no, I make more because I'm driven and like go out there and like push to make more.
Yeah.
But cool. There was a couple of like mental health and sobriety campaigns that he had done that made, some money. And then there was like a campaign that we had done for Dell where I was the one who created the whole vision, was the one that negotiated the whole thing, put the reel together, edited the reel, like
spearheaded
guided the whole thing, and then just basically asked him to be a collaborator.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's fair.
And that was like the biggest campaign he did that year.
Yeah. All right. Well, she answered it. I love that about you. Fuck, marry, kill. Carl, Kyle, or Austin Kroll? This is hard, huh?
I mean, I just kill them all.
Kill them all. Okay. I like that. That's a good answer. That works here.
I'm like, I don't want to fuck any of them.
No, I think we're good on that.
Don't want to marry any of them. So we're left with one option here.
Okay. This is my last question for you.
Oh, make it a good one. The group chat is going to rate this.
I know. They're going to be really, really excited about this. How did you feel in the beginning of the season when everyone was on Carl's side and now things are shifting?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you have to be really, really patient as like you wait for like the world to really just like catch up to what I lived 10 months ago.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm not the one who like seeks validation. I don't need the whole world to love me.
Right.
I don't really care. I care about like the judgment of my friends and my family and my loved ones, and that's it.
Yeah, that's healthy for reality television because if you are,
it is hard though. It's hard, like especially when like the internet is ablaze and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna stay off the internet, And like I would have like my boyfriend now. I was like, you have to take me out on Thursdays. I cannot be at home. Like it's summer house on Thursdays, and you're gonna take me out every Thursday. He was like,
"Are you not watching it back?"
I watched it, but I would stack the episodes. So like I would binge like 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah,
and then like take a break, just like because like mentally I had to. As opposed to like watching it every week and then being like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Even though I lived it,
right.
You're still like, oh God, now I have to wait another week to like, and I know that's how viewers watch our show, but like this was a really traumatizing life experience for me. So like I would just like binge them and then take breaks and then binge it and take breaks. Because if it was a bad episode for me, like in the beginning, then it's like, okay, well, maybe the next episode is not going to be so terrible.
Eases the blow a little bit.
Yeah. So, like, you'll watch, like, a bad episode, and then it'll be followed up by, like, a not-so-bad episode. So, but, yeah, like, this season specifically, I had to be really patient and just wait. Because sometimes, like, I don't have to, like, talk and be like, this is what happened and, shove it down everyone's throat. Like, you're going to see it.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes
time
that's
will show you.
off-putting for a viewer too to be told like what's next and how you should be metabolizing something, and it's sometimes better just to let it play out. I see this on Vanderpump Rules too a lot, like kind of like the evolution with the Scandival and Ariana and Tom. Like sometimes just letting people watch without the feedback from the cast as it's happening is better.
Right.
It gives it a little space.
Right. Well,
you know?
it was a lot, right? Like this season was like a lot. Like I didn't even do any like, brand campaigns because I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
This is like not the time for me to be like hawking products as I'm like watching like my last relationship just like completely get destroyed on
That's
national
smart.
television.
Yeah.
Like it just was like, it felt very like, I just wanted to just focus on like the things that were in front of me and my happiness and my joy and my future and keep reminding myself over and over like this was my past.
Right.
I've already lived this. Like I have so much going on in the present and in the future that I need to stay focused on. And I just kept like repeating that over and over and over to myself every single week because it was like, I've already lived this. Like why? Yes, I know I'm forced to relive it, but like I don't have to.
You know what they say, Lindsay?
Oh God, what are they?
I'm going to fuck this one up.
What do they say?
They say the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason.
Oh.
I delivered that flawlessly. I always fuck that one up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
the
slaps.
rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, looking ahead.
In the spirit of that, what's your biggest regret from this season? Do you have any or nah?
I don't like to regret anything because like every time,
It's
puts
not really
you in a
efficient.
position
Yeah.
to like, learn and grow and make changes for your future.
Yeah.
So, I can't say I can't even say like I have regrets. Like
But
even
if
like
you
the
could
whole
play editor, and you could just go back and you could clip something and then delete. Do you have a moment that you're like, I don't love that
this season.
Yeah, or any season.
Oh God, there's so many times I would like to edit, clip, and backspace on.
Like, we're good, yeah.
Like how many like times was I like drunk and yelling and getting activated? It makes for great TV, but it's
That's
like
true.
not great for my dating life. You're like, oh, that's the girl who gets drunk and yells about sandwiches.
That's fun, though.
And
It's
then
spicy.
it's like, yeah, right. But then I have to go find the guy who's like appreciates my love for sandwiches.
Right.
Yeah, there's tons of moments. That's like 8 years. That's like it's remembering 8 years of like crazy shit I've done on TV. I think there's like you can probably Google it.
There's
Like
probably a YouTube.
Lindsay's most activated moments. So
There's a
probably all of
TikTok.
those moments. Yeah.
I'll find it later. I can't wait to watch it. Thank you so much. This was really fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad I made your trip from Calabasas worth it.
My 7-hour trip.
Yeah.
Please tell everyone where they can find you, where they can watch Summer House, all of the things. Plug away.
You can find me on Instagram at Lindsay Hubbard. You can watch Summer House every Thursday on Bravo at 9, but not for too much longer because, that season finale is coming up and then the reunion episodes. And then if you want to rent my house in Nashville, go to hubhousenashville.com. So you and all of your group chat girls.
I'm a Nashville girl. I have so many friends in Nashville. I go there all the time.
Okay, well, let's go. Get your group chat.
What part of
and
Nashville
go on
is
a
it
girls
in?
trip. It's 7 minutes from downtown.
Great.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
we can all be woo girls
Love it.
in Nashville.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lindsay. This was so much fun.
Yeah. Me too. Thank you. Thanks for having
Fiend.
me.